So ChatGPT is stealing your best leads. And now here's how to stop it. So the problem nobody's talking about. I'm going to show you something that's probably happening to your business right now, and you have no idea. I asked ChatGPT to recommend a plumber in Miami last week, and it gave me 3 names. My client wasn't one of them. He's been in business for 15 years, hundreds of 5-star reviews, ranking on Google, but to AI, he doesn't exist. This is happening to local businesses everywhere. People aren't clicking through search results anymore. They're asking AI for one recommendation and calling that business. If that's not you, you just lost a customer without ever knowing they were looking. And the worst part is, you can't see it happening. These leads never hit your website. They never saw your Google listing, and they just got a name from ChatGPT and made the call. Now, this is something that most people aren't talking about because they simply don't know about it. And it makes all the difference between signing your next client versus signing no clients at all, and potentially not having consistent, reliable lead flow. Now, why isn't traditional SEO enough anymore? So Google ranks pages while AI recommends entities. For 20 years, SEO meant getting to page 1 of Google. You optimized your site, you built backlinks, and you hoped people clicked your link. That still matters, but it's not the whole game anymore. When someone asks ChatGPT or Perplexity for a recommendation, it doesn't show them 10 options. It gives them one answer, and it decides who to recommend based on something called entity data. Not your Google ranking, not your ad spend. An entity is how the web understands that your business is real, verified, and trustworthy. If AI can't clearly identify who you are across multiple sources, it won't recommend you. It'll recommend your competitor who figured this out first. So if you aren't creating content or making the conscious effort to rank on AI by basically becoming an entity in its eyes, then you'll always remain in the pile of people who are still only optimizing for Google, thus losing out to people who are then being recommended by AI because they take things into account. And you can see this diagram here. So let's do the math. If you're losing 3 to 5 high intent leads per month to AI recommendations, and your average customer lifetime value is, let's say, 2K, that's 6 to 10K per month going to someone else. Now, it might not seem significant in that context, but what happens if it's over a year? You're losing out on about 60 to 120K in revenue you never even knew existed. Now, these aren't even tire kickers. These are people ready to buy who asked AI, who's the best, and got an answer that wasn't you. The trust was already built before they made the call. They just called the wrong business. Regardless of how long you've been in business or how much better your results are than your competitors, if people aren't seeing you and they don't know about you, then you'll never get that call and you will always lose the business to somebody who is already optimizing for these things. So you'll never see these lost leads in your analytics because they never visited your site in the first place. You are effectively invisible. So let's talk about how you can solve this through the 3-layer trust system, is how I like to call it. Now, AI doesn't guess. It looks for structured, verifiable, consistent data across the web. When it finds a business with clear entity signals from multiple trusted sources, it feels confident recommending that business. Now think of it like a background check. AI cross-references everything it can find about you. If 10 different platforms say the same thing about your business, AI trusts that information. If the data is inconsistent or incomplete, AI gets confused and recommends someone else. To win an AI search, you need 3 layers working together. Schema markup, which most of you are already familiar with, entity consistency, and citation networks. Each layer reinforces the others. Stack them and you create a flywheel that gets stronger over time. But try to build one on its lonesome and you won't see the benefits of compounding. If you only focus on schema markup and you don't focus on entity consistency or citation networks, then you're essentially handicapping yourself through let's say, loss of opportunity. So let's talk about schema markup. So schema is code that makes your business machine readable. For those of you who are familiar with traditional SEO and have been doing it for a very long time, you'd know that schema markup is an essential aspect of it. But it tells AI exactly what you are, where you're located, what services you offer, and it pulls in your reviews. Think of it as giving AI a cheat sheet instead of making it guess. The three schema types that matter most for local businesses are local business schema, which proves that you're a real business with a physical location. In this case, it could even be likened to GBP. You have service schema, which breaks down exactly what you do. Review schemas, which brings in your reputation signals. And you can add local business schema pretty much immediately. If you're on WordPress, there are plugins for this. Otherwise, you can use Google Structured Data Markup and essentially get the same results. So next up, we have entity consistency, or NAP. So this is where most businesses mess up without knowing it. NAP stands for name, address, and phone, and it has to be exactly the same everywhere. Not close, but exactly the same. If you're Mike's Plumbing on your website, but Mike's Plumbing LLC on Google and Mike's Plumbing on Yelp, then AI sees three different businesses, it can't connect them. So it doesn't trust any of them. Well, common mistakes I see all the time is instead of writing out street on one platform, then you abbreviate it as ST on another. You have old phone numbers still floating around from 2016, which you've neglected to update. You have multiple locations sharing the same phone number. And you have name changes that never get updated everywhere. Like the previous example, Mike's Plumbing in one, but Mike's Plumbing LLC in another. This confuses AI and makes it much harder for you to rank because AI deems you as a different business despite you being the same one. This is why you need consistency across all platforms and not just to optimize for one. By the way, before I go any further, if you want this document and access to 7 of my free trainings, those trainings are over 60 pages or 60 slides each, detailing exactly how you can do this for yourself. Then feel free to get that linked in the description. Or if you simply want us to rank your business on AI for you, we also offer that service linked in the description. Now, moving on. Layer 3 are citation networks. For Google, backlinks, which again you must be familiar with if you already do traditional SEO, serve as votes of authority. For AI, citations are proof you exist in multiple verified places. The more high quality directories you're listed on with consistent information, the more likely AI is to recommend you. So start here in terms of priority platforms. In terms of local businesses, Google Business Profile is a complete non-negotiable. You must have this if you ever want to have any chance of being cited by AI or even just for your local SEO efforts. Yelp, Facebook, Bing Places, and Apple Maps are also integral to the process, but Google Business Profile trumps them all in the terms of efficacy or how effective it is. Then you should hit industry-specific directories. If you're a plumber or you do HVAC, then Angie's List and Home Advisor would still serve as like a major platform that you should be on. Lawyers, make sure you're on Avo or Justia. Doctors, Health Grades, and ZocDoc. And sort of a jack of all trades for this would be being mentioned in your Chamber of Commerce. This serves as a super high quality backlink. If you don't know how to do this, again, we can do this for you. So you can do a 10-minute audit as well to see where exactly you are currently. So check if you exist in ChatGPT. Ask it to recommend a business in your category in your city. If you don't show up, you're invisible. So that's your baseline. Verify your schema. So use Google's rich results test. So you can just search this up, by the way. Plug in your URL and it'll tell you if your schema is set up correctly or if there are any errors. And step 3, you can audit your top 5 citations. Pull up GBP or Google Business Profile, Yelp, Facebook, Bing, and one industry directory. Check your NAP on each one. If anything is inconsistent, fix it immediately. These are all actionables that you can do right now. You can pause the video and come back, and then you can check where you stand and what needs to be fixed. And let's talk more about the flywheel effect. So why does this get easier and not harder? So if you fix your schema and clean up your entity data, you start showing up in AI recommendations. And more people visit your website and Google business profile, which creates more structured data signals. So more reviews, more clicks, more engagement. AI will see this activity as proof that you're trustworthy, and then it will recommend you even more, and then rinse and repeat. It's a simple cycle. You can see it outlined here. Now, this is the complete opposite of paid ads, because with ads, the moment you stop paying, the moment you stop giving Facebook, Google, or any other platform that you use money, then your leads dry up immediately. While with LLM optimization, local SEO working together, then every citation is permanent. Every schema update stacks upon each other, and every consistent signal makes you harder to ignore. So while your competitors keep dumping money into ads that disappear when their budget dries up, you can leverage, which is a key word here, your ranking on AI and on local in order to generate as many leads as possible without you having to spend any more money into it. You simply have to be consistent and follow these rules I've outlined here. So when I first started optimizing for my own agency for AI search, as well as our clients, which we have in a plethora of niches, such as attorneys, HVAC, pest control, dentists, etc., most of them at least, were initially invisible. So we ran the test. We asked ChatGPT to recommend not only agencies in our space, but for our clients. And initially, most of us didn't show up. So I went through the exact process I just walked you through. We use it internally in our agency. We fixed our schema, cleaned up our NAP across every platform, and built out citation networks for all of us and our clients. Now, 3 months later, I would run the same test and check that we were the first recommendation. The leads that came from AI referrals converted at a higher rate, of course, because they are warmer leads. They're high intent is how we refer to them. And because AI had already pre-sold the trust before they ever reached out. Because you can think of AI as a trusted friend for many people nowadays, whether they admit to it or not. They would much rather take a recommendation given by AI than from, let's say, someone that they don't know. So this isn't theory. What I'm telling you, this is what we do for ourselves and our clients every single day. All right, so we practice what we preach. Now, you might think that it sounds complicated, but it's much simpler than ever, let's say, running ads. Because you're not managing bids, you're not testing ad copy. You set up once, you maintain consistency, and it works while you sleep. So I don't have time for this is pretty much just a lame excuse. The 10-minute audit is your starting point. You can do it right now. Check if you exist in ChatGPT, look at your schema, audit 5 citations, and you can do that this afternoon. Saturday for me, at the time of this recording. If you're seeing this, let's say on Monday, it's just going to take you 10 minutes. In between whatever you're doing, you could probably even do it during your lunch break or in between servicing a client and achieve similar results. Now, you may wonder if this would work for your industry. So I've done this, as I said, with multiple industries: plumbers, lawyers, HVAC companies, agencies, dentists, pest control companies, roofers, you name it, and we've most likely worked with that particular industry. The mechanics are the same. AI needs structured data to trust you. If you give it that data, you will win. Simple as that. So here are a couple key takeaways and actionables that you can do today or at the time of you watching this video. So AI search is happening right now. People are asking ChatGPT and Perplexity for recommendations instead of scrolling through Google results. It's estimated that close to 400 million searches take place in AI every single week, if not more. So Google ranks pages. AI recommends entities. If your entity data is messy, AI won't trust you enough to recommend you. The 3 layers you need are schema markup, which makes you machine readable; entity consistency, which means your NAP, which is name, address, and phone number, must be identical everywhere; and citation networks, which are proof you exist in multiple verified places. This compounds over time. Unlike ads that stop when you stop paying, Every optimization you make stacks permanently, it compounds, and it results in more clients not only today, but for the coming years if you remain consistent. So you will always have deals coming in. So what should you do next? So AI search isn't the future. Once again, it's happening right now. And most businesses are completely invisible to it. Run the 10-minute audit today. Ask ChatGPT if you exist. Check your schema with Google's rich results test. Audit your NAP across your top 5 citations. By the way, as I mentioned earlier in the video, I've got 7 free AI SEO trainings linked in the description that go deeper into each of these layers. Grab those, subscribe for the rest of the 2026 SEO series, and check out my video on what the best way to rank on both Google and LLMs is. It's linked in the description, and I'll probably leave it somewhere here. So thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.